Hey there folks, Alex Laux here, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite Kodak films. And if you've followed my photography for some time, you probably already know the answer. I'm of course talking about Kodak Panatomic-X, a beautiful, slow film that unfortunately hasn't been around since I was about 3 years old. So I really only shot it a handful of times, but that very first roll I shot hooked me right off the bat. So I have my last commercially rolled roll of Kodak Panatomic-X loaded into my Nikon FE. I got my 50mm f1.8 lens, a pale yellow filter. I'm here on a beautiful sunny day in downtown Oakville, and I'm actually going to be shooting the film at ASA 32, its box speed. Now, I know there's some people out there who basically say, oh, you know, you have to overexpose it one stop per decade and then develop it normally. Well, you know what? Because Kodak Panatomic-X is such a slow film, it handles expiration much better. So that's why I've always shot it at ASA 32, no matter how old it's been. And I've shot a roll that expired in 1969 and it worked perfectly. So I'm gonna hit the road. You're gonna hear a bit more about how I process the film, what I like about it, while you see the images from today. All right, let's hit it. Kodak Panatomic first hit shelves in 1933, a sheet film on a nitrate base, rated fairly slow. Panatomic-X came out in 1937 when the base was changed to the less flammable acetate. Panatomic-X has always been a slow film. The highest speed it ever got to was ASA 40, before settling on ASA 32 about the mid-20th century. There is also a motion picture version of Panatomic-X, known internally as XT, and it was rated at ASA 25. Panatomic-X became the professional's choice when sharpness, fine grain, and absolute detail were required in an image. And even from 35mm negatives, massive enlargements could be achieved. The introduction of T-Max films spelled the end for Panatomic-X, and production ceased in 1987. But given the stability of slower films, much of that final batch wouldn't expire until the 1990s. When it comes to developing Panatomic-X, it's best to stick to the classics. You'll want to go with something like HC110, D76, Microdol X, or Rodinal for the best results. But if you're into more modern developers, Kodak X-Tol is an excellent choice as well. My personal favorite way of developing it is using HC110. I don't go with dilution B because the datasheets call for 4.5 minutes. I go with dilution H, which is 1:63, and I just develop it for 9 minutes. But if you're more a dilution B person and want that increase in contrast, you can develop it for 5 minutes, even 6 minutes, and get excellent results. And I've seen some great images that are developed that way. What you'll find with Panatomic-X, with any developer really, is smooth, very low contrast, a lot more grays. You'll also have incredibly fine grain and incredible sharpness, especially if you go with a developer like Rodinal. Well, that does it. Shot the roll. Showed you some of my favorites from the jaunt here in downtown Oakville, and told you a little bit about the film. It is the one discontinued film that I do miss, even though it is only a recent addition to the films that I like to shoot. So when I do find it, I do make a point to buy it, but I also do it smartly. I'll make sure I understand where it's coming from, how it was stored, and the overall condition of the box or the roll. I don't want to spend money and end up with nothing but fog or extremely heavily expired film. Unfortunately, there really isn't a replacement for Panatomic-X on the market. If you're into slow film and want to shoot something fresh and modern and from a reliable source, Ilford Pan F is an ASA 50 film. And of course there's Rollei RPX 25, which is another favorite of mine. So that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, give me a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments, what is your slow film of choice? And have you tried Panatomic-X? What's been your experience with it? Or are you much more of a speed freak and like to shoot stuff faster than ASA 50? As always, stay safe, get out there, make something cool happen.
At the tone, 3 hours, 56 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Hey there, if you're watching this, you've made it past the credits. So thank you so much for watching right to the end of the video. I wanted to talk to you today about vaccines. By the time you're watching it, I will have been 2 weeks vaccinated from my second shot of the BioNTech Pfizer. And it was rough after the second shot and the first shot, I'll admit it. It was very difficult to get out and do photography. I could barely lift my arms. And it seriously felt that my brain was packed with wool. Thankfully, my reactions are mild. And honestly, I was willing to take it because it means that I have a much better level of protection against the COVID-19 virus and the variants that have been spreading around. But I do make sure that when I'm in an inside public situation, I still keep my distance from people. And I respect businesses' rights to require me to wear a mask, and I definitely do, by choice, wear a mask when I'm inside doing grocery shopping, or getting coffee, or getting my hair cut. So I urge you, if you have a chance to get a vaccine, get it, because it's right now the only real tool we have to end this. And then we can get back together. I can start hosting photo walks. And if you're like me and live in a country like Canada or the United States or the UK and have easy, free access to get a vaccine, definitely don't miss your shot so you can keep getting your photographic shots. All right? Stay safe out there, people. Thank you so much.